this is the second day of harvest. I think my dad has been cutting for me. Well, that's a bit loud in my ears. Turn it down. Full screen. Yep, we've been harvesting for a while. I think he started, and I came out. Got up and had some breakfast. Driving out there for a couple hours. Pretty dry, it looks like, so I'm moving along. Probably about 3.5. It's fading in nice, can't even hear it. Well, those aren't planted solid, but they're planted over 15-inch rows. Looks like I'm cutting it on an angle. Well, not an angle, but not the same track that I had on the 4640 the drill. Yeah, we're just turning out that sand where all that grass is. Like, see up there, would have been turning out. It's probably smarter because I tried. Every time I tried, it's just plug up or stop the combine, front intake, so you just have to reverse or repeat it again until it goes through. Figured there wasn't anything there to really harvest. It was in there, that's the thing, but you needed to let that grass really dry out before you could harvest it. I'll start trying to cut in a little bit more to get more of this crop out of the grass. See if I can listen and see how it's fading in. It's pulling down some. What happens is the Soybeans and the grass all comes at the same time right into the combine. That's what you hear. Feeder chains fall right up into the cylinder. You hear it pull down pretty quickly. Gleaner R72s are pretty much all gleaners have a horizontal rotor that comes. It's basically going the same direction that the crop's going. mine's got a lot more capacity than that, but much more than that, you're starting to reduce the amount of efficiency of the cutter blades, sickles. If you got brand new sickles on there, you can bump them up to about 4.2 if you wanted to, but they got a little bit, they got some acres on them. They start getting duller and duller. You just gotta start going slower and slower to do the same cut. Probably due for a full new set of sickles, and that's not a fun job. It's relatively easy to change the sickles. Just get the sickle bar out of the guards in and out of the machine, out of the header, and then you can go pretty quickly. Of course, you could just take the guards off individually to change them. That just take too long. Be a full day job then. Yeah, it ain't long, but it's feeding him nice. You can tell when it sounds. You can tell that the sprayer operator went on an angle. They do that quite a bit because it doesn't knock down as many beans as if they want to try to with the fallen rows. They might knock them down half the field, so he's going on an angle. I think, if I remember properly, the settings for beans on the 72 or 72 is, let's see, 3/4 on the sieves, 1/4 on the bottom, 5 on the air, and 4.5 is the 4 on the concaves. 4 to 5 on the air. 5 if you really want to clean them out. What I do is I just basically ride behind them side to side. Walk them, see how many beans are on the ground. That combine, when you get it set right, it ain't putting any beans out on the ground. Only beans coming from the header and chatter from the reel. That's basically where you get the beans on the ground. It ain't coming from the combine. There ain't no leaks. Ain't blowing enough air to blow it out. Putting everything in the bin you want it to put in. Ain't got no sensors telling you that. It's just you gotta see with your eyes. Walk the ground, look at it a little bit. I look out when I'm harvesting, I look off to the left and right. Gotta see how the cut is too, how it's cutting. If I'm seeing any beans on the ground from the reel, the header, not much you can do about it. about that. You just gotta get the beans off the ground fast enough. Because there's a certain time if you ain't out there fast enough, they'll shatter. They're just too dry. Especially after a rain. The rain's on them. They swell up and dry up. The pond dries up and they don't fall out just yet, but they're a lot more susceptible to the real. I think I'm probably running first. It's wide open, about 3 to 4. Second, I like to do, I like to run the 4-wheel drive because it turns better. It doesn't go as fast. And if I set on iron second, about 4.5, 4.6, the 4-wheel drive on, so you get a little more ground speed going around the corners. But the first gear with no 4-wheel drive's about 3-4, and you just basically throw it clear the engine. Set your header and watch it feed in. Have your hand there ready to slow it down if you have to. Raise the reel up a little bit if you need to for 2 tall beans. The only thing we got wrong with our harvest situation is we don't have a grain cart to keep that thing moving. We have to go to the truck to unload every time. There's food probably have a good thing back then when this combo was running that time in 2025 because we hadn't repaired the auger yet. It's pretty loud. We needed to get repaired. We did this year. It's pretty quiet now. They could probably unload on the fly. Back then it probably would have, but you were just pushing it, so we just ran it about half throttle. Well, took a big wad in. Oh, I got mud, that's what it was. Tell me it's too wet again. Yeah, it must be in the mud because I'm moving around. I can tell on his feet by the way it sounds. Stalks are ripe. Beans are ripe. Those 15-inch rows, they just keep a steady flow into the header and also into the intake or the feeder house chains. Feeds pretty well. 30 inches feeds alright, but you get a lot more, you hear it a lot more. You don't get the same production either. It's about, it's very conservative, about 5 bushel more, easily 10 bushel more an acre difference. Unless you plant it really thick. Put the right stuff out there with moisture, like with moisture and then right nutrients on the field. You get a lot more than but dry land like this is. Good year, you're bumping 50 and average year is 27, 30. Better than average 35s. Wish that combine's paid for, so it's the header. Everything's paid for, so guess we're doing okay. Better get out of there. Let that grass dry. On to the next one.